Hi, I'm Joan Newcomb, and today's morning musings is reasons versus excuses. I'm doing a series of weekly musings, and I'm using posts from my blog, Adventures in Density and Effort, as inspiration. Now, I wrote these a while ago, but my information is evergreen. However, if I encounter anything that is out of date, I will give you the most recent information, and at the end, I will summarize the topic based on everything that's going on in the world today. Also, I have some special offers, so stay tuned to the very end to see what they are. Reasons versus excuses. A while ago, I learned that sometimes abusive behavior comes out of depression. That is, the person who rages at you might actually be depressed. So much for thinking that depression is repressed anger. That's great. I mean, it's great to understand the reason, but it's not an excuse. Understanding the reason for a behavior gives you the opportunity to remedy it. Take steps to address it, but it doesn't let you off the hook for having done it. Reasons give you clarity so you can take action. Excuses are what you make to stay stuck. Say you've had a crappy history. That's great fertilizer for growth. Understanding about dysfunctional patterns allows you to become conscious of behaviors so you can change them. You're no longer a child. You just feel like one when you get triggered. Help is available, both visible and unseen. You can't change the past. You can't change others, but you can change yourself, your actions, and your viewpoint. Your inner child really wants you, the essence of who you really are, as consciousness, to drive the car. If you're triggered, ground yourself in present time reality by talking kindly and gently to your inner child self. Let them be in the safety seat behind you. You can succeed in going where you want to go, in spite of your history, in spite of others out there, and in spite of playing out old patterns. Each one of us that stands in the present moment, breaking the pattern by choosing differently, creates healing for everyone. Changing yourself creates change everywhere. And if you've had an experience like this, please leave me a comment below. I love to read your comments. This is really interesting to me because I had someone today suggest that I watch a movie called The Apprentice, which is about Donald Trump, and I'm not interested. I don't care about the reasons for him being the way he is because they just become excuses to tolerate or submit to the reality that's going on. And the reality that is going on is not acceptable. So how would I frame this differently if I realize this whole experience is really a creation of consciousness? And what we're seeing in the world today is a great evolution of consciousness, that is greater light coming into the world. And those of us who are inherent light bringers, those of us who are interested in this kind of stuff, that is, you're drawn to watching this kind of video, are experiencing increased light. And the light is really the essence of who we are. We're experiencing increased light and therefore, in a sense, increased empowerment, an increased awareness of the essence of who we are, also increased ability, and an increased sense of connectedness with those around us. But those of us who are not so tuned in to the expansion of growth are clinging to the past. They're feeling threatened that the things that they placed a lot of power in are going away. And this has been coming on for quite a few years, and it's just become more and more extreme and overt. So now we're seeing it hitting a breaking point where there's a faction of reality trying to drag us back to the 50s or the 30s and really an imagined reality of the past because it really wasn't that great back then. And something I actually heard as well is that people who are authoritarian are operating out of a tremendous amount of fear because to become an authoritarian, you have to destroy things. And if you think back to being a king, you can't disagree with kings or they'll behead you. But the only way to replace a king, if they don't die of natural causes and have an heir, you have to behead them to have a complete regime change. So that's a real life and death way of running things. And when you operate as consciousness, you don't view things in terms of life and death because you're beyond all that. The part of you that's consciousness doesn't die. So we're not operating from a life and death experience. And the greater consciousness evolution that's going on that I've talked about operates more from a sense of connection and a sense of everyone being equal because we are all consciousness. When you're operating from that perspective, you work towards a society, an environment that works towards the betterment of all mankind, not trying to destroy it. So I'm really interested to see what's going on with the world because ultimately evolution doesn't go backwards. We are all collectively moving forward, and the power structures that are yelling the loudest are the ones that are disintegrating. And the way to get through it right now is to operate as consciousness, to stay strong in your own sense of authority and ownership and seniority. And the way to do that is to use consciousness techniques. If you go through my playlists, you'll see me talking a lot about them. If you like these videos, please share them with your family and friends and on your social media. And please click the like button or the heart button, follow or subscribe. And that way you're telling the algorithm to get this out to as many people as possible and to the eyes of people who really need to see this information. And if you'd like to have a free sample of one of my consciousness techniques, click on the link below to the skybox technique. It'll give you a drone's eye perspective of the world and what's going on from the viewpoint of consciousness. And if you'd like some manifestation techniques, click on the link below to Manifesting Money and Miracles. That's my self-study course where you can learn simple but profound energy techniques to completely transform your external reality. And if you'd like to have a session with me, I take a look at the essence of who you are and what's going on in your life today, and I can answer any questions that you have, and it's all recorded just for you. So click on book a session for that. And if you'd like to learn how to do this for yourself, that is navigate your life as consciousness with the help of some of my consciousness techniques, Manifesting Money and Miracles is a great preparation for my coaching special where I work with you one-on-one and give you specifically chosen consciousness techniques so that you can transform your life. You can find out more at my website, joan-newcomb.com, and I'll see you next week in another weekly Musings.